Maggie Klein, welcome to the Breakfast Nook. So, I returned to drag last weekend. So, you have to understand something. I was a drag queen back when I was in my early stages of my transition back in 2010, 2011, and 2012. And I did drag. I was part of the United Court of Austin. I was a princess in the court until they stripped me of my title. And I performed with Kelly Klein and learned how to do makeup from Kelly Klein and learned how to do drag from Kelly Klein. I even did a pageant in Houston and had a great time doing drag, but towards the end I got tired of all the politics and all the meanness and all the stuff that comes with drag. So I left drag and I retired in 2012. I did do a brief reappearance in 2015 where I did it for a um, company amateur show, and I performed in front of them at work and then was proceeded to be fired for daring to do what I pushed the limits at work. And so at that point, I was totally done with drag and said I would never do it again. Well, fast forward to 2023, and I went to the Austin Eagle with one of my good friends. And at the Austin Eagle, I was talking with one of the old court queens named Topaz, who I stayed in touch with and who was nice to me when I was in the court. Because you got to understand, my time in the court was horrible. I was treated really badly by the other queens. I was a comedy act, and no one liked me, and they made fun of me, and they thought all I wanted was just glitz and glamour, when really I was just doing it for the charity aspects and just to be able to perform as drag, because drag helped me with my transition. So if it wasn't for drag, I wouldn't have transitioned. I was able to be me. I was able to be Maggie when I was in drag. And this led to the ultimate where I had even, in my drag act, the most fame I got out of my drag act was when I was Maggie McMuffins, which I've now dropped. I'm now Maggie Klein. And I was performing at a club that no longer exists in downtown Austin. And these two guys from New York that were in town for a film festival saw me perform and thought I was brilliant, and then came to my house to interview me and were shocked to discover that I have a real life, and I'm actually very successful in my career, and I have a family, and I have kids, and that led them to create, and I told them, why don't you make a documentary? And so that led to the creation of the documentary Mount the Model, which was dedicated to me and was inspired by my life story. I don't know how I inspired a story about drag queens and trans people in Puerto Rico, but I did, and my name, I have seen it in credits, and it's incredible. So anyways, flash forward to 2013. I'm at the Austin Eagle talking to Topaz. And Topaz is like, I was like, Topaz, I feel like I could come back once, I want to perform once. Because, you see, I have an act, it's called The Redneck Woman, where I put my hairs in curlers. I have my horrible teeth, I don't have to even black out my teeth anymore, but I black out my teeth and make myself, and I put freckles on, and I wear this redneck-looking get-up, and I look like white trash, and I perform the song Redneck Woman. It's a huge hit. People love it, because especially when I pull the baby off on the side of my hip, that just seals the deal, and people just laugh, and I do the splits and have fun. So I was like, I'd like to come back one time and just perform at the Austin Eagle for you. And I was like, I know you have drag shows, why don't you? And she's like, well, the court is having a show tonight, why don't you come? And I was like, no, I'm not ready, I haven't sung Redneck Woman in years. I don't remember the lyrics. I'm not out of practice, blah, 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 giving all these excuses. And then Topaz just looked at me and said, yeah. So I got home, and I was sitting at home, and then I started thinking about it, and I was like, you know what? Let's do it. Let's go back to drag. So I came out of retirement. I showed up dressed fully in my Redneck Woman costume with my hairs in curlers, my freckles, the whole 9 yards. I looked like white trash, as my roommate put it best. He's like, you look trashy. I had on a short skirt that left nothing to be revealed, which I destroyed in the middle of the show. And I performed. I started performing my act. So when I got there, I met the court people, and they go, who are you? And I go, I'm Maggie Klein. And they're like, oh, we can add you to the lineup. And I go, why? And they're like, well, you have the last name Klein. You see, in Kelly Klein, my drag mom, is a very famous drag queen. She basically is one of the famous drag queens of Austin and Texas. And I took on her name, Maggie Klein, because, well, I'm one of her daughters back from the day. And Kelly and I still talk to each other every once in a while. And so So I messaged Kelly, and I was like, I'm back in drag, and she was like, yes, do it, do it, do it. So I did it. My performance went over spectacularly. I had someone walk up afterward and said, you were brilliant. I talked to them afterwards, and they're like, that was just so funny. It was amazing. They tipped me down pretty good. I made a lot of money for charity. And then the next day, when I returned to the Austin Eagle to eat in the brunch, because Topaz told me about the brunch, I was like, yeah, I'll go to the brunch. Everyone was there. I was like, you performed last night, didn't you? And like, you were amazing. You were funny. It was perfect. So I guess I'm back in drag. So I'm back to being a drag queen again because I joined the court, and I'm setting up my next number, which I'm not going to reveal, but it will involve a certain puppet that shall go nameless that I've been wanting to do forever. I was going to do Let's Get Physical, but an old number I used to do where it's a comedy, I comedy it up. But it's not. I'm not strong in it, and I'm not feeling it as much as this other act. I found the song I want to do, and I need to get the outfit together. And I'm gonna keep it secret, and then reveal it on the day I perform. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm back in drag. I am out of retirement. I'm now a full-time drag queen again. Well, not a full-time, but I'm now back to being a drag queen, and this time it's going a lot better than the last time. The drag community has grown up. It has become more inclusive. It's less, being trans is less stigma is less of a stigma in the community now because there's a lot of trans people in the community. And honestly, the court has matured beyond what it was. They even have a non-binary line, which I will be part of. I signed up for my membership. I'll find out in November if I'm going to be able to member. I'll have to go to the board meeting for that. And yeah, I'm excited. I am excited because now I get to be creative once again on stage as the great drag queen Maggie Klein.